Hey Sagittarius, this is your monthly tarot reading for the month of October 2023. This is for Sagittarius, Sun or Rising sign. So we are back to our regularly scheduled readings schedule and like putting out videos at in a timely manner, and I'm totally stoked about that. Totally stoked to be caught up. So thank you guys for your patience last month with all the family stuff that I had going on. I really do appreciate it. So we are taking a look at the beginning, middle, and end of the month here. So these readings are a little bit longer than my bi-weekly readings. Those typically around the 5-minute average mark. And then these are around, I don't know, I'd say around like a 15-minute mark for these videos. So just to give you an idea, if you're looking for something shorter, I would go check those out. Feeling this card. Also, interesting month, Sag. Interesting month, Sag. Okay. All right. And we are also going to take a look at what kinds of challenges might be coming up. I'm feeling this card here. And also any kind of spiritual advice that is coming through as well. And I'm feeling like also this card here for some reason. So we're going to go with that. We're going to go with it, Sag. All right. So now these are collective readings. So let's remember that if you really want to know what specifically is going on for you, just a reminder, you want to do a one-to-one reading, whether that's with me or anyone else. If you want to do it with me, information is down below in the description box for how you can book a one-to-one reading. Otherwise, as I say, I also watch a couple of people for collective readings, and I just know because it's collective that some months it will resonate and others that it won't. If it doesn't resonate, not my message that month. So definitely I would say if this isn't not resonating with you, then, and this is your sun sign, then go check out your rising sign and see if that actually resonates more. So that's what I would suggest. Let's get into this. So in order to put this reading into context, I pull cards from my astrological house cards so that we have an idea of what area of life we can focus this reading around, right? So what area of life is being pointed out to you? So the second house is coming up. This is your personal resources, your personal possessions, your personal finances, how you make and spend money, the talents and skills that you utilize in order to make that money, and your Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So that's what we're looking at here for the second house, and that's what's coming up for you this month. We start out with the 2 of Swords, move into the 10 of Cups, and then move into the Moon, which I think is really interesting. Judgment card showing up for your challenge, and then the spiritual advice being the 7 of Pentacles. And wait, is that a 7? Yes, it is. Okay. Sorry. The 7 of Pentacles and also the 4 of Wands. So let's dive into it. We start out with the 2 of Swords in the beginning of the month here. So I'm feeling that there is definitely a need for you to, there's some decisions that need to be made. You know, I think you're weighing out some things that you want to do, what you want to maybe focus your attention on, and or maybe a path that you want to take, weighing out options of some sort. But you're trying to figure this out, and in order to get some clarity about what you need to do next, this is not you making a decision solely from a analytical place, solely from your mind and your logic space. This is about you needing to also tap into your intuition. You need to be able to quiet yourself and tap into your other senses, tap into your intuition and see how that informs your decision. Feel into this as well. Utilize your feeling spaces to understand, like, our feelings can tell us a lot. You know, some people just like dismiss feelings as being like irrational, and so we shouldn't let them make our decisions. And maybe not solely, but sometimes, yeah. And they also play an important role in helping us to make decisions. When we feel into something that we've been so wrapped up in cerebrally, it can clear up a lot of things. We can go, oh, actually, I don't really feel connected to doing that, or I don't really feel excited or enthusiastic about creating that anymore, or about going in that direction. I feel much more pulled to go in this direction. And so, you know, our feelings can play a part that is really important in helping us make these decisions with regard to how you're making your money, how you are monetizing your skills, how you're going about creating stability for your finances, things of that nature, right? And so then we come into the middle of the month, and I think that there is this like maybe hope and feeling for the life that you really want to create, you know, or at least having a closer connected feeling and vision for what it is that you imagine your life to be when it is like the most fulfilled, the most blissful, the most joyful, the most fulfilling actually kind of life that you want to be experiencing. So it feels like very present in the middle of the month, and perhaps that's because you're just feeling more present to it after you've been like really concentrating on this in a certain sense overall, like in the making decisions beforehand. But then you come into the middle of the month and there is just like this you know, maybe feeling more present to like what would actually really feel good to you, or clarity on what kind of life you really are working towards or building towards. You know, we start out, we go October, November, December, we're in the last quarter of the month. And so perhaps you are also rethinking at the beginning of the month, like what are the, you know, top 2 or 3 kind of projects or goals that you're working on with regard to your finances and whatnot, right? And so perhaps like in the thinking about that, you've gotten some clarity and there's maybe some feeling of hope or connectedness to that. We end out the month with the moon card. I think that there's just a lot of reflection. I think that this is going to bring up some things that have you reflect on what areas of life you haven't really been addressing internally, like with your emotions, with things that are, you know, in the realms of the unconscious, or things that haven't been, maybe you've been refusing to acknowledge or you've been avoiding acknowledging. You know, this is where we are asked to look into the shadowy aspects of our lives where it can feel like, you know, we're a little trepidatious, or we feel a little you know, instinctually an aversion to actually looking at it face to face, and to feeling, especially with the moon, feeling into those areas that maybe don't feel so great. Maybe we have to acknowledge that there are things that we haven't been acknowledging that would inform our way forward, or inform what we choose to do. Maybe there are also actually, like, I wouldn't say that this is necessarily a card just for this, but there could be like toxic shadows or shadow behavior or shadow feelings that need to be addressed, that are perhaps hindering your progress with how you make your money in this world. And so those things need to be looked at and need to be felt into. So there is some courage required to like really face those things. You know, and this is kind of towards the end of the month where we're at a place where, you know, they say that this is a time at the end of the October where the veils are thin. And so this is more of that, can be a very like introspective or shadowy type time. And so it can feel a little bit scary sometimes, you know, whatever word you would associate that with that. But there is going to be maybe this need for some courage to sit with and to be with those things. And in order to clear them, in order to be more tapped into your intuition, to be more tapped into like the clarity that you need. You know, once we're armed with and we can feel into the depths of what's there for us, it's not used against us anymore. We can actually work with it, right? So the challenge that's coming up is the Judgment card. I think that, you know, you're being asked to level up in certain ways over the course of the month, and you're going to see certain messages come through that feel like they bring more clarity, especially with this card that's showing up. I think that you're going to feel challenged to up level in some way. You're going to be asked to step into a maybe more responsible or a grander version of yourself, and to work on a level that, you know, maybe you haven't been working on for a while, or that you slipped away from, or on a new level that it requires more from you to do and get more out of life. And that can sometimes feel challenging, because in the face of that, we kind of have to make some decisions about who or what, like what habits, what things we do or don't do, who we spend our time with or don't spend our time with, who we let in. All of these types of things can be up for review, right? When we're considering this, because when we're asked to step into these new next levels, those things all get pulled into question, right? The people around us, the people that we interact with normally, all of these types of things, they come under review. And so that might feel kind of challenging at a few points, right? The Seven of Pentacles, like we have for your spiritual advice, Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, you know, and I see here that like it's going to require, like, it's almost like your guides, whoever it is, your universe, they're just saying like, hey, this requires more patience. Like, I feel like you're right around the corner from something. It's like you're going right up to something where it's kind of like you always maybe push and push and push, and like you put in the work, and then you get to this like one place and you're just like, oh, I've like, or a certain amount of time you've put into something, and then you just kind of go, okay, it's not working. And then you decide on another path. And this is almost like saying, hey, stay with it, right? Like there is this quality of patience with the Seven of Pentacles. Also, very pensive, right? Like some of you may need to consider, like, is this really the path that feels worth it? Like, do I still feel committed to this? Do I still feel like this is worth it? Even if it's hard, even if things have been going slow, especially recently, right? Things have for a lot of people. But like, even with the challenges, even with the speed bumps, does this feel worth it? Do I still feel drawn to this? Do I still feel like it's worth the time, energy, effort, and attention for what I feel I'm going for and what I want to grow, the vision that I have, what I want to create? And I feel like a lot of you are going to say yes, in which case the idea is to understand, like, it's going to take more time. So don't give up. You get past, like, all you need to do is make it 1 or 2 steps past that point where you normally stop. And on the other side of that, you're going to have like this celebration. You're going to have this ability to be like, I've accomplished this. I can now, like, you know, and maybe you get outside validation from other people, but this is about just like being recognized yourself, like celebrating your accomplishments, recognizing that, you know, that you've reached the next level. The Four of Wands can be like a very much like a rite of passage. And I feel like for some of you, that makes a lot of sense here, right? Like you're being asked these questions that I was just talking about, right? Like you're being asked these questions, but you're being asked that to kind of be like, okay, like this is a rite of passage. Like you are up leveling and moving into a next level, the next echelon, the next iteration of yourself or your talents and your skills and how you are able to provide for yourself and monetize and all of these things in the world. And so there is this like new next level that you are like going through this rite of passage for. And so putting that into context and understanding that you're just kind of like going through, like everyone's got to put in their, you know, everyone's got to put in their work. Everyone's got to, you know, start from somewhere and work their way up, right, in some way. And so this is just like part of that process. You're going to get to the other side of this. And perhaps there's some things that you need to face in the process that like need to be addressed. And especially in the realm of like you stepping up, there might be some things that you have to let go of, some things you need to do differently that maybe you're just like, I don't want to change those habits. I don't want to do those things, but it's coming up for a reason to help you get to this next level. So just understand that. And again, I would say, look at the astrological highlight videos so that you can actually get a sense of like, what is the flow? What is happening for this month so that you can understand better, like how to put this all into context, right? You can definitely check out the video that I put out on the 29th that goes till the 14th of this month. Excuse me. So you can definitely check that out if you want a little bit more like information. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful. If it was, please give the video a like. It really, really helps me with building this channel like a lot. And it helps me with the algorithm gods. And if you haven't already subscribed, why not do that and hit the notification bell while you're at it so you don't miss any of these videos on the horizon. So thank you for your time. Thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.